Come with us on a journey into the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable. We will test your senses and challenge your beliefs. A world where science and religion clash. Or do they? You will meet real people and hear real stories, but you will not believe. You will witness strange sights and hear strange sounds, but you will not believe. This is the New England Ghost Project. Welcome to the nightmare.
Pull my computer cord out of it. Whoops. And we are live. I could just notice that. Welcome to Ghost Chronicles. What is this?
Next Generation.
Next Generation. Yeah, this is. I just did international. I get so confused. And hopefully, it'll be a better start than the international one. We had all kinds of problems there. But we're on the road. We're in the old Anne mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're back. We're back in the studio. Woohoo!
No, we're on the road.
Well, we're on the road.
Oh.
Back in the studio.
No. On the road. Don't listen to her.
Anyways, we're very happy to be back in person, live, and we've missed all you guys. So
We have.
it's
Definitely.
good to be back.
Yeah. Anyway, there's Nate in the audience. Hey, Nate.
Yep, we have Nate behind the scenes tonight instead of in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But so we decided for our first show back in studio, we're going to take a road trip.
Road trip.
And since last time we did Route 66, this time we're going to do good old Route 95, which one runs right down the East Coast. And we brought Prudence along. She's in the back seat for the ride.
That's who it is.
Yep, Prudence is here, yeah. And we got our little ghosty bobblehead on the dash, and we're ready to roll.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
It's annoying, by
He's
the way.
dancing away. I love him.
It's annoying.
Good.
Anyways, so where are we going
So
now?
we're going to start. We're in the car.
And by the way, how come you're driving?
I'm always driving because I'm a better driver. Yes, I am. Believe it. If you've ever driven with Ron, okay, I know a lot of people will back me up. I'm driving. So, taking the wheel, we're hitting the road, and what's that dead body over there? I got to switch. Ooh, it's bright and sunny, thank God, but I got to put on my reading glasses.
Yeah.
Okay, so I-95, main road north and south going up and down the coast.
The entire coast.
Yeah, the entire coast of the east of the United States. And it is going to start tonight up in Maine. So,
Yeah.
So we're starting a journey near the very tippity top in Bangor, Maine, with the Bangor Opera House
Bangor.
at 131 Main Street. I should say it like a true Mainer, right? Banga? Banga? I don't know. So on Main Street in Bangor, Maine, this historic building survived the Great Fire of 1911.
I remember that.
I know, right? You must have been there.
Terrible thing.
At least-
Terrible.
Must have been at least 50 years old by then.
Terrible.
Oh, so it survived the Great Fire, only to be destroyed all over again in 1914 and then rebuilt. The members of the Penobscot Theatre Company, which is housed in the Opera House, have reported many hauntings over their tenure. During the 1914 fire, a brick wall collapsed, killing 2 firefighters, whose ghosts have been seen in the audience during performances.
Really?
So I guess they like to enjoy a good show. Full-body apparitions of a woman, supposedly named Heidi, in the prop room and sewing area have been experienced on numerous occasions by longtime staff members. Another ghost who has made herself known is that of a little girl by the name of Sammy, who likes to play tricks such as taking cookies, pencils, and shiny objects. Ooh, shiny object.
Sort of like
the,
me, you know.
Like Ron.
Yeah.
From the box office area and relocating them to other areas of the theater. Actors have reported seeing faces and hearing voices while rehearsing on stage, as well as seeing faucets turn on and off by themselves in the ladies' room.
Really?
That's a problem.
Why?
Well, if you're in there and you're going, there's really nothing you can do about it, you know. But anyways,
Who cares? Just a
and the
faucet
doors open and close. I'd like the door to stay closed when I'm in the ladies' room.
Oh.
The general public has also seen translucent ghostly figures on the stage stairs during events. So
Transition ghosties.
there you go.
That's
That
scary.
is the Vanguard Opera House.
We
Next,
should go there. Oh, we are there.
here, Prudence, hold on to that. Okay, next we're going to Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Litera.
No, Prudence is holding on to him in the back seat.
Yeah.
Our friend Roxy Zwicker, hostess of the historic Portsmouth Legends and Ghost Walk, can attest to the high level of hauntings in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Picking just one location was difficult, but I decided on the Chase House at 698 Middle Road. The house was built in the late 19th century as a home for orphaned children.
I grew up there.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually became a court-appointed children's home. That sounds like fun. Legend says a young girl hung herself in her room and can now be seen late at night in the hallway. When she's approached, she reportedly runs away and disappears. Some say they've heard her screams from inside her former room. Locked doors have been said to open of their own will, and lights and ceiling fans have turned off and on for no reason. Sounds like a lot of fun at the orphan's home. Thanks, Prudence. All right,
So sad.
hitting the road again? All right,
No, we're
I'm
still in
driving.
Portsmouth.
Just down the street.
To Newcastle. Actually,
Okay.
it's Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle.
Isn't
Portsmouth
there,
Harbor Lighthouse is in Newcastle.
isn't there a beer? Newcastle beer?
I'm sure there is.
I think there is.
Yeah, and there it is, my favorite spot. As those, as you who know, I sometimes do ghost tours there to raise money for the Friends of Portsmouth Harbor Lighthouse, and we've had tons and tons of great experiences there. So anyway, what about Portsmouth Harbor Lighthouse, which is in Newcastle, by the way, which is an island? Did you know that Newcastle was an island?
I did not.
Yeah, it's connected by bridges to the mainland. The 48-foot iron and brick tower was built in 1878. I remember that.
I bet.
For over 130 years, it stood guard over Portsmouth Harbor.
It's right before you went to the children's home, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
A long line of keepers oversaw the Portsmouth Harbor Lighthouse until it was finally automated in 1960. The keeper who served the longest there was Joshua K. Card, who retired in 1909 after 35 years of service.
Wow.
Sort of like me in this show.
Dedication, right?
Yeah.
You just can't leave.
When people asked Joshua what the letter K stood for on his uniform, he would tell them, Captain.
K for captain?
Yep. He died in
Okay.
1911, but it seems he's never left.
Uh-oh.
Coast Guard workers, because it's on a Coast Guard base, by the way,
Ah, yeah, it is.
at the nearby
Cool
Coast
spot.
Guard station has reported hearing footsteps and seeing someone moving in the old keeper's house. Voices near the tower and an apparition of a woman on the walls.
Ooh.
Others working at the tower have heard disembodied voices and unusual noises. Although most of these incidents happen at night. My God, I can't even read. One of the visitors to the lighthouse met the captain in broad daylight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She was on her way to the tour of the lighthouse when she noticed a man in uniform. However, when she reached the lighthouse, he was gone.
Oh, no.
Why are you driving? We're parked.
I'm driving. Oh.
I'm reading. I'm driving. Yeah.
We're driving around the island.
Crazy. You're driving around a lighthouse? I don't know where you're driving.
Around.
That's the way she drives. Don't laugh. Let's see. So anyways, they saw this guy in uniform. However, when she reached the lighthouse, he was gone. Later, the visitor was able to identify the captain from the photo.
Cotton.
There have been several investigations with great results. However, the New England Ghost Project
Ta-da!
that's me. New England Ghost Project, see? Yeah, okay. It collected the most interesting pieces of evidence to this date. While recording EVPs in a tower, one of the investigators, that would be Jim Stoner, asked, "Is there anybody here?" The recording clearly says, "It's the captain."
It's the cotton.
Yeah. So there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Nothing like a good.
I love that place.
What
I've
a
seen
captain.
a full body apparition there while doing one of my tours one time.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
I didn't think it was a ghost. I thought it was a person.
Oh my God.
until I found out it wasn't.
Man, woman, what was it?
A woman.
Oh,
Woman.
neat.
Yep, it was on the fort, actually. So, interesting thing. Great place to visit.
Very
and,
cool.
Yep, we are the Friends of Portsmouth Harbor Lighthouse. We take care of that lovely structure, which is a money pit, but that's all right. Carry on.
All right. So we're gonna hit the road.
We're
Moving down
going.
the road again. Now we are headed. Where would we head next after New Hampshire? You say Boston.
Oh, Boston. Massachusetts.
Boston.
Massachusetts.
We'd never leave Boston, Mass, right?
Did you know that Maine was once part of Boston, of Massachusetts?
I did know that actually.
Yeah.
Back like in Civil War times.
Do you know why it became state?
Why?
It was part of the Missouri Compromise. There had to
Oh.
be a certain number of slave states and non-slave states. So they took a chunk of Massachusetts and said, hey, we're going to make you into a state.
Wow.
So there you go.
Neat.
There you go.
That is cool.
You learn something every day.
That's right. All right. So since cemeteries are always on my list,
Yeah.
I want to talk about one of my all-time favorites, which is in the heart of Boston, Massachusetts. The
Spider Gates?
No. Not Spider Gates. Ron hates Spider Gates. He's quite disappointed when we visited there.
Heartbroken is the word.
Disgusted? I don't know.
Heartbroken.
Any of the above. But we're going to talk about the Granary Burying Ground, and it's right at 95 Tremont Street, across the street from the Beantown Pub, which is where my husband likes to sit when I go in that cemetery.
Sounds like a good pub.
Oh yeah, he's perfectly willing to go cemetery tripping if he can go in there. So it's the third oldest cemetery in the city. It was established in 1660 after the predating King's Chapel, which is just down the street, reached full capacity. And it was once a part of, actually, the Boston Common, which is the oldest public park in America. So it was originally occupied mostly by cows roaming around, and its borders were framed by,
Let me get it. It's haunted by cows.
no,
Oh.
not by cows.
Right, I guess.
But
Wrong.
so there was this little small plot near the back of the park, but it was near houses and everything. So they finally dedicated an area to become the Granary, and it accepted new burials for over 200 years, with its last interment said to have taken place in 1880. It's estimated that over 5,000 remains are buried in this cemetery, yet today less than half of the gravestones remain. A hidden crypt was discovered in 2009.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be the one who discovered it. The woman touring the graveyard fell through the ground into what appeared to be a stairway leading to an underground tomb. I take it back. I think I would
love
like
to
that.
do that. What are you talking about? That's an
If I-
experience of a lifetime.
Right? If I didn't get hurt, I think I would definitely be all over
Why,
it,
did she
right?
get hurt?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't say.
Well, probably not then. Wow.
I would have been like,
I was ecstatic.
there would have been things
I was
reaching
like,
out to grab you, and I don't know. So they believe that crypt she fell into, which was 8 by 12 feet, it's believed to have been built to store the remains of Boston Mayor Jonathan Armitage, who died in 1751. Wonder what else is buried underneath there that they don't know about. I don't know. So the hauntings. So the specter of James Otis Jr. is said to haunt the Granary. After this prominent Boston lawyer, got a bottle broken over his head during a bar fight.
Was that the same pub your husband was in?
Maybe. His brain functions became extremely impaired, which in turn affected his mental health.
Oh, that could be me.
Legend has it he wrote a letter to God amid his crippling depression, begging to be struck by lightning and killed. As if by fate, kazat, he was soon struck by lightning while at home, and he died instantly.
Better get a charge out of that.
His remains were interred in the Granary Burying Ground, where he appears to visitors both day and night, dressed in his colonial-era threads. There you go. There you go, Prudence.
You roll the
Take
windows
care
up.
of
It's
that.
awful cold
All
in this
right,
car.
I know, it's very. We have cranks. It's a low-budget car.
Low
Okay.
budget car, yeah.
People are going. All the young people are like, "What are cranks?"
What a cranks. Oh, I know. It's those two people that do the show. Vic cranks.
Oh my God. Oh, I have another Boston one.
Yes, you do.
I
I'm
know.
waiting for you.
Stop the car. Okay, so another favorite spot in Boston is one that Ron and I actually investigated back in November of 2011. And it was cold, yeah. This was so funny because he called me up literally, I think it was that morning. He's like, you want to do an investigation of an old jail in Boston tonight? I'm like, yes. And off we went. So
It's funny you didn't say that when I had that old mill out in
oh no,
East Windsor. It was
that was February, literally in the middle of the winter in the snow.
Absolutely the coldest day of the year
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. Oh, we're going to go and visit an old mill. No.
Wimp.
No, thank you. Yeah, I
Don't
heard a
like-
lot about how cold it was there too.
It was
So I
terrible.
thanked God I did not go. So we went to this old jail. I had no idea what it was. It's Charles Street Jail. Okay,
Yeah.
so, and they were rehabbing it to become what is now the Liberty Hotel. All right, if anybody else has ever been into this hotel, it is incredible.
You've been in it?
Yeah. Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
I'm impressed.
You should go.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I see it now.
And they
Out the window.
kept, so like they kept like the yard, like they had this big courtyard in
Yeah.
the middle, and it's I don't know, 4 stories, 5 stories high. They kept that, and that is, you can go up and there's balconies all the way around that look down into this amazing courtyard, and the windows are 33 feet high. So the place is just amazing, and little did we know when we were investigating, you know, what it was going to be. So it was completed in 1851. That is the old jail there you're seeing now with all the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. So the Charles Street Jail was built by a very famous architect Gridley James Fox Bryant, who did a lot of architecture in Boston and unfortunately died at the end, penniless at the end. It's really weird. So it was also known as the Suffolk County Jail. Was built in the form of a cross with 4 wings extending from an octagonal rotunda that included a 90-foot tall atrium. And the 4 wings served a particular purpose, the segregation of prisoners by gender and offense. And a lot of, this was kind of the plot plan for a lot of jails all over the United States going
in
forward.
those cells?
We were in those cells. Yeah. We have a picture of us coming up soon in those cells.
Ooh, well, there we are.
There we are. Yep, in those very
Damn.
cells.
See, I didn't know that picture was there. It was such a fond memory.
We had a like.
You noticed I'm bundled up. How cold
Yeah.
the freaking place was.
Yeah, I had to borrow your coat. I think I'm wearing your coat.
Yeah.
So the 220 granite 8 by 10 feet cells were lit and ventilated by the 30 arched windows, each 33 feet high. And elected sheriffs were required to live on the premises. Sacco and Vanzetti, James Whitey Bulger, and World War II prisoners of war are just a few that spent time behind bars in the Suffolk County Jail. And there we are. God knows where we are, on what level.
Oh, there's Mike, right?
Yep, Mike was there.
Yeah.
Mike Markowitz, Karen Rock was there, and I can't remember the other people. As time passed, the jail became more crowded and began to fall into a state of disrepair. Riots and prisoner escapes were frequently happening, and newspapers were reporting the inhumane conditions at the Charles Street Jail and held the city accountable, and it was eventually closed in 1990. Ghostly sightings and experiences have been reported by both guests and staff of the Liberty Hotel. The most common reports are many from the glimpses of a figure outside looking in through a window. The eeriest part of these reports, the ghostly peeping toms appearing through upstairs windows.
Oh.
Oh, Russ, can you put that back, that picture you had up? Okay, so there's this star window, which you see, and everybody says, why were there pentagrams in the jail? So it's a round window with a star in the middle. So there was a bunch of these piled up in the corner, and we said, oh, you're gonna throw those away? And they're like, yeah, you want them? Yes. And I brought mine home, and Mike brought one home. Ron sadly did not.
But I got a billy club.
That's cool. And I repainted my window white, and it is quite beautiful and lit with twinkle lights up in my living room. So that was really
astonishing.
cool. So we have a piece of the Charles Street Jail in our house. So back to the ghosts. The kitchen is an extremely active area in the hotel. Employees claim to have witnessed pots and pans clanging together and phantom voices calling out orders for items that are not on the menu. Imagine that, the audacity of those ghosts. Some have seen full-body apparitions of guards and prisoners alike in the kitchen. And perhaps the most disturbing of all reports are the sounds of heavy boots stomping on the catwalks and the echoes of cell doors slamming, oftentimes accompanied by extreme temperature changes and the faint sound of sobbing and distant cries. And I will tell you, so down in the bottom of the hotel, they saved some of the cells, the bars, and there's a restaurant down there called Clink. Check it out sometime. It's pretty cool.
Clinky.
So, if you stay at the Liberty Hotel, watch out for the peeping Toms up on the 7th floor, or whatever it is. All right, we're hitting the road. Here we
Where are
go.
we going now?
Here we go. We're going to Rhode Island.
Yay!
Woo! Hey, Rhode Island. Yoo-hoo. On the road again. Shall I sing us on the road again?
No.
Have you got your story ready, my friend?
I'm always ready.
Okay.
You know me.
We're on the road
They
again.
call me Ready Eddie.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
All right, we're going.
All right. Are we there?
Yeah, we're there.
Are we there yet?
Talk.
Okay. Anyways, we're in Cranston, Rhode Island, and we're at the Sprague Mansion. Now, the Sprague Mansion, there it is. Like, isn't that a cool place?
Very nice.
And we did a 3-continent, 3 ghost hunts live broadcasts on Halloween.
Cool.
Way back in the day. We had Haunted Devon in the UK. We had Haunted Australia in Australia, and we were at the Sprague Mansion. And it was broadcast, and we took messages on Ghost Village. In fact, we crashed the site, Ghost Village site. Jeff Belandra's never forgiven me for that.
How
but that's
thoughtful of you.
yeah, anyways. So anyways, what is the Sprague Mansion? Rhode Island businessman William Sprague built the Sprague Mansion in 1790. Through the years, it has been has seen its share of tragedy, mystery, and murder.
Ooh.
In 1843, Amasa, my name is Amasa. Amasa Sprague left the mansion and never returned.
Uh-oh.
His body was discovered the next morning by the road. Ooh, was that what we hit?
Oh.
He had been bludgeoned to death, so they say. Looked like a car hit him, but I don't know. He had been bludgeoned to death, shot, and bitten by a dog.
Oh, my God.
Poor dog, huh?
I know, right?
John Gordon, an employee of the mansion, was arrested on circumstantial evidence and convicted for the murder and hanged in 1845. Gordon was the last person executed in the state of Rhode Island. Sometime after his death, evidence came to light of his innocence in the murder. Oops.
Oops. Sorry.
We have a do-over? This led to a public outcry, which eventually resulted in the abolishment of the death penalty in Rhode Island. Although Gordon was hanged, it seems he may have been one of the spirits still roaming the mansion. Keeping Gordon's ghosts in company are Kate Chase Sprague, who has been seen on the staircase, Amasa Sprague, William Sprague II, Amasa's wife, who went insane.
Oh.
I'd be insane too if
Wow.
I was married to Amasa. Hey, Amasa!
The poor guy got murdered and bludgeoned to death. I mean, you know.
Yeah. And Charlie the butler.
Charlie the butler. The butler did it.
Yes.
There you go.
The mansion has many abnormal hot spots as well.
They should have looked at him first.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Photographs
Hot
of
spots.
hot spots. Hot spots.
Thought it was cold spots.
No, always. Photographs of strange light anomalies have been captured in the dark wine cellar. The creepy doll room, which has a collection of porcelain dolls, is known to unnerve the most seasoned paranormal investigator.
We know someone who wouldn't like that doll room.
Clay.
Poor Clay. He'll never live it
The
down.
carriage house also is where dark creatures move among the shadows. Ooh. It was added to the mansion's reputation as one of the most haunted places in Cranston.
Neat.
Yeah, I think it's the only place.
Didn't
in
Ken
Cranston.
DeCoster invite us to come down there anytime? Something like that?
No,
Thought
he has
did.
nothing to do with it.
I thought they investigated the Sprague Mansion on a regular basis.
No,
No?
not that I know of.
Okay. Must be my imagination.
Maybe you're right. Your memory's better than mine.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's for damn sure.
Mhm.
But anyway, that's what I'm saying.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh,
Stick
okay.
a fork in it. It's over.
Do you have another one?
No,
You have another one, yeah.
no, I don't.
You have one in Connecticut.
Well, we haven't got it there yet.
Well, we just finished Rhode Island.
Well, drive us there.
Oh,
you
here we
click
go.
ahead.
All right, here we go. All right.
Okay, that was a quick one. Thank God Rhode Island's a little state, huh?
Yeah, right. Here we are in Connecticut.
Wow, I love the way of that. Just
Ran
jump
over
this
a
thing.
massa on my
You
way.
didn't notice Connecticut? Yeah. Okay. Damn. Our itinerary's going to hell.
It
All right.
is.
So we're at the Mystic Seaport. Ooh, it's a beautiful place.
Oh.
Huh? Damn seagulls.
Do a lot of shopping.
Seagulls.
Mystic Seaport. You can go to the casino while you're there, too.
Yeah, I know. That's a great.
Right
place.
down the street.
Yeah. Anyways, in the Mystic Seaport in Mystic, Connecticut, you'll find the Charles W. Morgan, the last whaling ship and the oldest commercial ship still afloat. Still afloat.
S-H-I-P.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Yeah. Built by Jethro and Zachariah Hillman. in New-
Jethro.
Jethro and Zachariah.
Okay.
And we shouldn't make fun of people's names. That's not nice.
No, it isn't.
Yes, no. Hillman in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The Morgan was launched on July 21st. Ooh, that's this month. 1841.
Coming right up.
Ooh, that's the anniversary, right? July 24th, 1841, 1941. Ooh, that's like 180 years or something. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyways. Over an 80-year whaling career, the Morgan embarked on 37 voyages with a crew averaging 35 men. Most trips lasted 3 or more years.
Oh.
She is known as a lucky ship,
Oh.
having
Okay.
successfully navigated the Arctic ice, hostile natives,
Wow.
countless storms, and the rounding of Cape Horn.
Ah, always a challenge.
Yes, I had some good experiences there, some tough ones. After her whaling days ended in 1921, the Morgan was preserved by the Whaling and Shrine Incorporated. Never even heard of that. And exhibited by Colonel Edward H.R. Green's estate at Round Hill in South Dartmouth, Massachusetts. In 1841, 41, man, I think I'm drinking wine.
What
She
was
was
he
a-
thinking of? Okay.
She was acquired by the Mystic Seaport Museum, where she has since dominated the Chubbs waterfront. Whatever.
Okay.
But
Ghosts.
whaling,
Where are the ghosts?
but I'm getting there. But whaling was an occupational hazard.
Oh, yes.
Yes, even on a lucky ship.
Mm-hmm.
Many whalers lost their lives in pursuit of whale oil used to fuel lamps of the day. Drownings, falling from the riggings, as well as numerous accidents and illnesses
Oh, yeah.
were common. With such a long, perilous journal, it's a little wonder why some of the whalers have decided to stay on board.
Uh-huh.
Ghost stories began to spread when the Charles Morgan was used in the film of the 1997 film Almost Dead.
Oh.
Almost
wow.
Dead, you ever stared? Yes. Anyways, 3 crewmen said they felt a presence.
Oh.
One of the most common sightings has been that of a gentleman in the blubber room.
The blubber room. Blubber, blubber,
Which is-
blubber, blubber,
Yeah,
blubber,
blah, blah,
blubber,
blah,
blubber.
blah, which is the best. You're killing me. Which was mid-level of the ship. A man dressed in 19th century clothing, working with some line and smoking a pipe, has been seen. Staff also regularly see the spirit down in that area of a man. What? Oh, the man is so real that the people think he's part of the exhibit.
Oh, that's cool.
See,
Neat.
that's kind of like what I had at Portsmouth. I thought
Right.
it was a real person.
Thought it was part and parcel. Yep.
Yeah, anyways. Staff also claimed to hear disembodied voices, phantom footsteps on the ship. Some of the voices sound like people having a full conversation, even though there's no one aboard.
Wow.
As they are closing up for night, the staff members have heard voices thinking that they left some visitors behind. They've gone to check it out, but no one was there. So that's the old chase.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Well, you know, we've driven from Maine all the way down to Rhode Island, or no, Connecticut. So I think we need to hit the rest stop,
Yeah.
and we need to hear a paranews.
Really?
And we're gonna.
We have a paranoid?
We have a paranews.
Oh,
we
sweet.
do. We got it to work. I was having a little trouble with it earlier, but
Awesome.
we would love to hear from Nate. We're going to let him take the wheel for a moment, and we will be back when we're done at the rest stop.
Yeah, I guess so.
Leanne Wilbur, the daughter of Mary Ann Innes, formerly Stockley, and Leon Wilbur, grew up in Warwick, Rhode Island. Leanne enjoyed acting and, in early years, was a big part of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. She also loved her black cat, Max, horses, riding her Harley, and traveling. She had been a truck driver and bodybuilder. Friends and associates of Leanne Wilbur have described her as an intellectually curious, gregarious, trustworthy woman. She treated everyone equally. With those who she was close to, she was very real, blunt, and had a dark, sarcastic humor. The Lizzie Borden house in Fall River, Massachusetts, was the site of the 1892 grisly axe murders of Lizzie's father Andrew and stepmother Abby. In 1998, Martha McGinn and Roland Evans converted it into a museum and bed and breakfast. In 2004, businessman Donald Woods, Leanne's domestic partner at the time, bought the Lizzie Borden house property and business for $200,000 after the two of them visited there for the first time on a Valentine's Day. The two of them remained friends and had a good business relationship after they no longer were strictly a couple. Leanne eventually would live above the gift shop due to the legal requirement that a bed and breakfast owner or representative be on the site. For 18 years, Leanne left her mark as mistress of the house as manager and curator. In 2018, Donald Woods bought Maplecroft, the house Lizzie and her sister Emma lived after Lizzie's acquittal in 1893, for $500,000 with the idea of turning it into a bed and breakfast. The unmarried Lizzie Borden, who lived until the age of 66, was 32 when she allegedly murdered her parents. Due to the loss of revenue during the pandemic, the bed and breakfast was sold and Maplecroft has been listed for sale. Jeff Belanger, she was both kind and funny. She was generous with the house. I'll miss her phone chats. You put the house on the map. Amy Bruni, one of the most hospitable and funny, not to mention incredibly generous. You will be missed, my friend. Stephanie Burke, thank you for almost 2 decades of kindness and friendship. I'll miss your stories, your laugh, and random phone calls greatly. Chip Coffee, I am saddened to learn Leanne Wilbur died. She was always so kind to me whenever our paths crossed. Rest in peace, my friend. Anne Kerrigan, a very gracious host, always a very nice lady. She will be missed by all, but especially the paranormal community. God bless. Ron Kolek, bless you, Leanne Wilbur. You touched so many lives. I remember her showing me a video on her phone of the flies by the basement door just after a TV show had just been there that week, also ushering her into the East Bridgewater Cam studio for an episode of Ghost Chronicles. Tiffany Rice, we lost an amazing woman. Leanne Wilbur gave me her friendship and countless opportunities. We would talk for hours. Tim Weisberg, this wonderful lady became a true real, beloved friend. She was wonderfully weird, delightfully wicked, and endearing. John Zaffis. My calendar for today, call Leanne Wilbur and set a time for us to meet for dinner. Rest in peace, my friend.
And we're back. We're done at the rest stop.
Oh, that was sad.
It was sad.
Yep. I liked one of that.
We will miss her,
Yeah.
and very, very heartbreaking. So, but God bless. You know.
Yeah.
All right, so back on the road,
Yeah, we are.
trying to do another Connecticut stop. We're going to go
We're
down
still in
to.
Connecticut?
We're still in Connecticut. Yeah, I thought we were out of Connecticut, but then I remember we needed to go to Bridgeport.
I guess not.
So Bridgeport has been voted one of the most haunted cities in the country.
By who?
I don't know.
Somebody.
It's also home to the Lindley House, which many of you may know about, and this was thought to be one of the scariest homes in the world.
Of course.
The home drew attention in the 1970s for its ghost sightings. The clergy was brought in to bless the house. Famed paranormal investigators and Connecticut natives, Ed and Lorraine Warren, searched the home, later deeming it one of the most famous, well-documented poltergeist cases in history. Thousands from across the country, spurred at the time by the recent release of the movie The Exorcist, gathered in front of the small one-story, four-room house. 4 rooms, folks, not a big place. Looking to catch a glimpse of the phenomenon, which is said to also include talking animals and strange noises. The story
Sounds like my house.
right. The story began in 1960 when Gerald and Laura Gooden purchased the home on Lindley Street. In 1967, their only son, who was stricken with cerebral palsy, died at the age of 6. The family then adopted a girl, Marcia. Marcia. The strange occurrences started to occur once the girl entered the home. For some reason, they got worse in 1974, and the family called police. Clergy were also called to examine and bless the home. Building officials examined the foundation, which was deemed safe. Well, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but anyways. Even Ed and Lorraine Warren visited the home, showing the crowd pieces of cross that exploded. They later called the event one of the most famous, well-documented poltergeist cases in history. I already said that. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. I'm old, sorry. So that was a very big deal back in the day. But boom. House is still there, I think. I think that's what that first picture was, the house today.
Whatever.
All right, back on the road. Here we go.
Where are we going?
We're going to New York City.
Yeah.
Woohoo, baby. Oh, have I got a story?
New York.
Yeah.
High stepping, babe.
This is a great story, and I had not heard this one before. Okay, so we're going to 57 West 57th Street in New York City. All right, Big Apple, baby. So in 1922, Albert Champion, he was a professional cyclist. There he is, and inventor of the spark plug. Right? Who hasn't heard of Champion spark plugs?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Cool,
Yeah,
huh?
Pretty cool.
He met and married the much younger Edna Crawford,
We have spark plugs
who
in
I
this car.
believe, yeah, we do, of Kansas City. I believe she was an actress. And in 1927, so he met and married this girl. And in 1927 in Paris, Champion stumbled across Edna and her French lover, a man named Charles Brazel, canoodling. They were canoodling.
How dare they?
Oh my God, in a bar.
Did you ever clear this window?
No. The two men fought and Brazel punched Champion. Hours later, he died in his room at the Hotel Meurice, apparently of heart failure. The fight was never investigated.
Oh.
Edna, now $12 million richer, returned home to New York with her French lover, where the two found a beautiful penthouse apartment at 57 West 57th Street. At the time, there was a medical office for the mentally ill occupying the 3 floors underneath the penthouse apartment.
Oh, yeah. That's the place I want to go.
Right? I want to move right in there. But apparently it was just where they wanted to be. When Edna discovered it was not available to rent, she purchased the entire building for $1.3 million in cash. Then the two lovebirds started on a massive remodeling of the penthouse, complete with a 40-foot Venetian mural that featured a nude portrait of Edna and a $30,000 gold canopy for their bed.
Oh.
But alas, Edna and Charles's relationship was not long for this world. Allegedly, one night after one of their drunken rows had gone too far, Charles beat Edna to death with a telephone. A telephone?
It's for you.
Okay. There you go. Edna, we shouldn't laugh over this.
No.
Edna's bodyguards, she had bodyguards, right?
Keep on calling.
Fat lot of good they did.
Yeah, I know.
The
Oh,
bodyguards.
would you want him in the bedroom? I'm sorry.
Well,
Unless you're a
apparently,
Voyager,
he used to chase her around the apartment because he was like crazy, and he's drugged up.
Yeah. Okay.
And so they seized Charles and threw him over the balcony. 19 stories. Whoosh, down you go.
Are you serious?
They threw him over the balcony. Yep.
He must have splattered.
Oh God. Let's not talk about it. For years after this incident, the penthouse
Days to
apartment
clean the sidewalk.
sat empty until radio producer Carlton Alsop and his wife and their 4 Great Danes, there's Carlton, poor guy, decided to make that 57 West 57th Street, God, that's hard to say, their home. But things quickly went downhill. The dogs acted strangely, whining and refusing to enter the apartments. Both
Must have
Mr.
been
and
female.
Mrs. Alsop complained of hearing the click-clack of a woman's high heels on the floor, even though there was no one there. At her wit's end, Mrs. Alsop moved out, abandoning the marriage. Carlton tried to cheer himself up by throwing wild parties.
Here you go.
Hey, she's
Spoke
gone.
like a true man, right?
She's gone. I'm going to party hardy.
Ding dong, the witch's
But
dead.
his guests complained of feeling ill at ease in the penthouse, like someone was watching them. Another claimed she was followed down the stairs by some unseen woman. I wonder who that was. Eventually, Carlton Alsop went mad and checked himself into the mental hospital just a few floors below his
Wait a minute.
gilded home.
The first people bought that thing and left the mental hospital
Yeah,
still there?
I guess so. That's what they say.
Wow.
Whether it was the ghosts of Edna and Charles or the former patients of the hospital and sanitarium that had occupied the top floors that had cursed the penthouse, no one could be certain. But any person who went to look at the penthouse went away with a terrible feeling. Alsop could never rent it out, and once released from the mental institution, he abandoned the property at a considerable financial loss. Once again, the top floors sat empty for years. So,
You still empty?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They said somebody tried to buy it and they were filming
I'm
something
surprised
there.
Zach didn't buy it.
Zach, oh,
Baggins.
Baggins, I
Yeah,
know, right?
For his haunted museum.
That would be
Could have
pretty
moved it
cool.
up there in the, yeah.
Yeah, there you
Think
go.
of all floors. You could have the penthouse where all the murder was, and then the
Yeah.
sanitarium for the other ones.
Yeah.
You could, oh man, they'd make a fortune.
Yep.
Zach, if you listen to me, I'm telling you, go out and buy that freaking building.
All right, so we're only halfway down the coast, folks. I don't know if we're going to make it to Florida this
Oh,
evening,
we'll never make it to Florida.
but we may
I can
have to
guarantee
do
you
another
that.
show.
I will guarantee you that.
You're next, aren't you?
No,
and
I'm
me?
not, my
Oh,
dear.
Damn. Okay, here we go. We're in New Jersey now. It's like a portal. Ghostly sightings and experiences have been noted in just about every part of Princeton, including the Nassau Inn and the Yankee Doodle Tap Room. There you go, Yankee Doodle. You were
I
talking
know.
about that earlier.
Ooh, I must be psychiatric.
It must be. Where dozens of apparitions have been accounted for throughout the course of 2.5 centuries. Nick Ballas, director of rooms at the Nassau Inn, reported on several occasions having heard strange noises. Are you driving on your side?
No, I'm dancing with the little
Oh,
dolly.
the ghost.
Yeah, you
It's a little ghosty. Put him back. He won't dance anymore.
can dance with me.
Seen bizarre figures, and while staying overnight,
Oop, I
witnessed a
almost knocked the car down.
translucent woman in a white dress floating up the stairs from the 2nd to the 3rd floor. The 5th floor is where some of the eeriest stories come from, remarked a front desk attendant at the Nassau Inn. There were several instances where guests called down with concerns of hearing constant chatter from disembodied voices. A few guests also described feelings of being hugged by an invisible stranger.
Oh, that's sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
And
I need a hug. Let's go to the Princeton.
Princeton purportedly has quite the cast of famous specters in the area to communicate with. George Washington, John Witherspoon, and Albert Einstein are among the many celebrity spirits associated with Princeton that are believed to frequent the surrounding shops, residences, hotels, and universities.
There you go.
Didn't we have a lady on the show who talked? Pretty sure we did.
About what?
Talked about this place.
They did?
See, that sounds familiar. All right, we're back in the
You know
car.
what?
It's your turn.
Don't
What?
they all sound familiar?
They all sound familiar. Haunted hotels. All right, we're going. We're going to boom, boom. We're still in New Jersey. We're just driving a little further.
We
Driving
are?
a little further. Yep, you're in New
Ooh,
Jersey.
this is scary.
It's your turn.
Where are we
I
now?
can stay on the road.
Ooh,
I
this is
don't know.
spooky.
It's spooky.
Ooh,
I
too
don't
spooky.
know. It's very spooky.
We're in the Pine Barrens, Barrens.
That's why it's spooky. Yeah, that's creepy.
Ooh, that's creepy. The first people, and they're people, all right, ever to live in the Pine Barrens were the Lenape Indians. Lenape?
The heck are you?
Right here. Is that a Lenape?
Lenny Lenape.
Yeah, see, I don't like it.
Lenny Lenape?
Whatever.
Sounds Italian to me.
Who lived
I
in
don't
the
know.
area around 1200 AD. I remember that.
Oh,
For centuries, the land was undisturbed. In around 1694, the first Europeans, and there goes the neighborhood, came in. Yep. They brought their families and, yep, damn kids, and started new families. Slowly growing in size, they moved into the Mullicut River region of the Pine Barrens. Now, Pine Barrens, mind you, is 1 million acres.
wow.
Yeah, it's not like it's
Little
Boston
spot.
Common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little wooded grove.
No.
No.
No. Okay. So since New Jersey was such an iron-producing region, I did not know that.
I didn't either.
Uh,
Iron?
The area was the area played a large role in the Revolutionary War, as well as the War of 1812, because they produced diamond.
I get it.
Yeah.
Got it.
This is perhaps the first known timeline of violence in the Pine Barrens. When coal was first discovered not too far away in Pennsylvania, the settlements in the Pine Barrens essentially became goners. People fled the state to get jobs in promise of better lives.
There you go.
So they just abandoned the Pine
ya.
Barrens. As
See
a
ya, see
result,
ya.
entire settlements in the Pine Barrens were left basically to rot.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Zombies took over.
Yeah. This is very much a part of the paranormal activity in there. This is where it came from. Along with the ghosts that once lived in the settlement. The ghosts of those who once lived, and they... What?
Didn't you read these when you printed them?
Oh.
No.
Along with the ghosts of what once was a lively settlement, the ghosts of those who lived there are said to still inherit the land. That's the dumbest sentence I've ever heard.
Inhabit
Yeah.
the land.
One of the spirits who said still wanders the Pine Barrens is none other than the headless Captain Kidd. Pirates!
Kid,
Arr!
why are there pirates in the middle of the woods in New Jersey?
Pirates!
There's pirates in New Jersey?
Pirates!
What? Okay.
Along-
Captain Kidd.
Along with his spirits,
What's he doing there?
it's said that many more roam the land, including a boy who was a victim of a hit and run. Were you driving by there, by
Aw,
St. Church?
I'm
Who
sorry.
still wanders and is said to be searching for the person who killed him.
It wasn't
and-
me.
And
I wasn't around back then.
on Burnt Mill Road, that was where he was hit. Stories about a white stag that wanders the area, as well as a black dog that is said to dwell in the area as well. One of the most famous stories is that of Jesse Still. You might ask, who is James Still?
Who is he?
James Still. It wasn't Jesse, it was James.
Who's James?
Get it right, will you?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Who was a
be more
doctor
careful.
during the time of slavery,
Okay.
who was lynched for practicing his medical field. What? Practicing in the medical field. Okay, he was doctor and he was practicing in the medical field, so they lynched him.
We're gonna string you up.
I guess not.
You better get that out.
In contrast, it is said still is a friendly spirit who actually helps people.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Isn't that sweet?
What does he help him do?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
I have no idea. I didn't. This is.
All right.
Oh.
Who else is there?
Guess-
Who else is haunting it?
Oh, the most famous one.
Who? Besides Captain Kidd,
The
a
one.
pirate.
The one the hockey team is named after. The Jersey Devil.
Oh, that's the guy we're looking for.
The Jersey Devil is one of the most popular and well-known legends to come out of New Jersey, specifically the Pine Barrens. This region is a breeding ground of supernatural stories, but none so medicine as that creature that can fly through the trees. I thought that was Superman. The tale of the Jersey. Did you know that Superman couldn't fly when he was first introduced?
No.
Yeah.
Why?
He could bound buildings on a single bound, but he couldn't fly.
He couldn't fly.
He didn't have.
That's
no,
dumb.
he learned to fly,
Okay.
I guess.
All right.
got his
Get back to the
wings.
demon.
Oh yeah.
Get back to the demon.
Right. Who could fly through the trees? Right. The tale of the Jersey Devil claims that the creature was actually the 13th child of a woman who went by the name of Deborah Leeds. When the child was born in 1735, it was said to be a demon
Oh my
who
God.
came out with hooves and wings and a horse's head.
You know, after 13 children, I might think that about my 13th child
I would
too.
think
I'm
so
sorry.
too.
No offense.
Her husband, never mind.
Continue.
If that's not creepy enough, there are plenty of eyewitness accounts to back up this claim that the creature actually exists. Those who haven't seen the creature have said to hear it, a high-pitched scream. Yeah, not even close.
He said said it had a horse's head.
Oh yeah, that works. Is terrifyingly recognizable. The first person recorded an actual sighting was none other than Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh my God. Is
brother.
someone making this up?
Joseph Bonaparte.
All right.
That's
I call bull pucky on this. Anyways, go ahead.
Wow. The sighting dates back to 1820 when it was said he saw the creature himself. 20 years later, the same creature was determined to cause the various death of livestock. Paranoia and fear surrounding the Jersey Devil became so real during the 1900s and to 1909 that hundreds of people reported seeing the creature. These sightings were taken very seriously. Very seriously. As there were a number of reported attacks in the area as well. Things got so chaotic too.
Chaotic.
Yes.
That too.
That they shut down the schools.
Oh my Lord.
If it ain't COVID, it's another thing. Oh,
Holy
wow.
crap. Are you almost done?
I am so scared of this.
Yes.
Things returned back to relatively normal for the state, but not before
hope so.
a $10,000 bounty was announced for anyone who could catch the elusive New Jersey Devil. God, that was
We had
scary.
everything in that story. Oh, we have 5 minutes left. There's no way we're getting to Florida from New Jersey.
no
Holy
way.
crap. All
No way.
right, that story had everything. We had Captain Hook. We had
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Napoleon Bonaparte's brother.
Yeah.
Who else do we have in there? Boy
don't
got hit
know.
by a car randomly somewhere, somehow, somewhere.
Some doctor. Don't
Some
forget the
doctor
doctor.
who got
Who helped
hung-
people
hung
with
for being a
slaves.
doctor.
Yeah.
Apparently.
During working with the I don't know. Because he worked with the slaves.
That is
they
the
hung him?
craziest account of anything I've
I
ever
don't know.
occurred.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody
What are
who's
you saying?
listening. I'm really sorry.
One of the most famous stories involves a man, James Still, who was a doctor during the time of slavery, who was
Okay.
lynched for practicing in the medical field.
I just don't even, yeah.
I can't even fathom
I don't know. He was
I'm going
a
to tell my
doctor.
doctor to watch out.
He's a doctor.
That's a lynching effect, you know.
Apparently for the slaves, that's all I can get
I
out of
don't
that.
know. I can't get it.
Oh my good God.
I know.
Well,
We need to go for a drink.
I know. We're not going to do that while we're driving, though.
No,
never,
of course
never
not.
do
Never,
that.
never,
no,
never,
we won't do that.
Never think and drive.
We'll pull over and stay somewhere until
Yeah, right.
until we can take our next road
I'll
trip.
I'll get you another one of those. I'll get you one of those motel rooms with the big
Oh, God.
red shape. What the hell was that? Whirlpool bath in it. Remember that?
We went out.
Where were we
Yeah.
at?
Oh my God.
Oh, Peterborough.
No.
North Adams.
We went out to North Adams.
Yes, North Adams.
And don't ever let Ron.
The Notel Hotel.
Don't ever let Ron or Jeff Belanger make the hotel arrangements.
Wait a minute.
I just want to say
Let's
this.
not blame Jeff. Let's blame where the blame goes.
I know.
Was Weisberg.
Oh, Weisberg
was the
booked the
one that set
hotel?
it up. Yeah.
I see.
And that was only because they got Darkness and Dave involved, and our budget just went to hell.
Oh, my
So
God.
we ended up going to this Notel Motel.
But that was a different investigation.
Yeah, but that was brutal.
We were in. No, we weren't. We were. Oh God, where the hell were we with the heart-shaped tub? Lennox. We were in Lennox. Mass.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Never mind about that.
And that was not our
Sorry, Tim.
room. It was my room, folks. Just to make this clear.
Right.
This one.
Remember I checked you in?
Yeah.
Well,
This one sets up the hotel. He's like, all right, I got us rooms to stay out in
yes,
Lennox.
you did.
And so we're checking in. He's like, yes, there's 2 rooms reserved. He says, 1 for my daughter. Points to me.
He says that, yeah. He says like,
He says-
oh, we have one with a.
Nope, he didn't. He just said, there's one on the first floor and there's one on the,
okay.
on the second floor. And Ron said, well, give the first floor room. Oh, we have 2 minutes. To my daughter.
Yeah, give it to my daughter.
So I get the key. Yes, you still had a key.
Yes, now I remember that now.
I opened the door, and I opened the door to the room. All he said to me was the whirlpool didn't work.
Looks like you're
I
making a
know,
left
right?
turn, by the way.
I
when
know.
you
I
stick your hand out the
lost my arm here. And I walk in the room. There's a giant red heart-shaped
That's right.
bathtub. Drop my bag.
Get on the phone.
Get on the phone. I'm like, Ron!
Come down and
Get
see this.
down here!
Paranormal
And
activity, is
oh,
it?
excuse me. And it was all mirrors.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Can't forget that.
Oh my God. All right. So we have 2 minutes left.
So I was like, oh, wow, is there paranormal activity there?
Oh, geez. So naturally, he runs in. We have to take pictures. No,
Cool.
not with water
No,
in the
no,
tub or
no,
anything.
no.
The tub didn't work.
Did you ever use it?
Oh, hell no. Are you out of your mind? I can't even. It's like a swimming pool. I don't even know how long it would take to fill it up.
I
No.
do remember the time you used the tub with that had the whirlpool jets, and some clunk had put shampoo in it. Does anybody know what happens to a whirlpool bath when you put shampoos in
but
it?
we got to wrap it up right now. We got to go.
Lawrence Welk Bubbles.
We
got
to
to wrap.
go.
Okay.
That was a different place.
Yeah, different
That
place,
was-
different
that
time.
was- and that
We
was
got to wrap it up. We
my
want to
room.
thank you for going along this trip with
This
us.
crazy road trip.
And we'll continue our
Yeah,
trip down
because we have
I-95.
another 10, 12 states to visit.
We got to go.
So it was nice to be back.
It was.
We
Excellent.
hope you had a nice night with us and a nice road trip.
Car
And
needs a washing, by the way.
we're going to hit the road and head home, and we will see you
Good night.
next time.
God bless and stay safe.
Bye.
From ghoulies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night. Deliver us, good Lord.